Welcome to Journey of Faith, Business Owner, episode number 2. I'm your host, Renee Berry. I would like to entitle this episode as Starting the Business. In the last episode, I mentioned that my first client was the local library where my boys attended homeschool co-op classes. I would like to back up and say, the Lord led me on how to start a business. These are some of the processes that I took to begin. I needed a name for my business. I kicked around a lot of different names, but what stuck was The Garden Nanny. I knew by having an older YouTube channel, it was important to see if anyone else had the name I was considering. You don't want to be taking on someone else's name. I looked on Google and YouTube and found that there was a person with the name The Garden Nanny, which I believe they are no longer on YouTube. But I decided because at the time the name was taken, I would add my initials to the beginning of The Garden Nanny, and RB, The Garden Nanny, was born. I have to say, in this information age, finding out what it takes to start a business is quite surprisingly easy. I learned about registering my name and having an EIN number. It's like a social security number for your business. I looked into the different company structures: limited liability company, LLC, sole proprietorship, S corporation, and C corporation. I knew nothing about any of these, but after researching, I decided to go with limited liability company, which in short is LLC. LLC members are not held liable for the company's debts. Therefore, filing as an LLC protects your personal assets. Also, all profits and losses are filed through the member's personal tax return. Additionally, LLCs are not required to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes on its profits. I knew I was going to need a vehicle for my business. I prayed about it, and it was put on my heart to talk to my neighbor, whose driveway at the time looked like a dealership. He had a truck and a van that he was wanting to sell. My husband talked to him, and the next thing you know, I was purchasing the GMC Safari for the business. I called it Big Blue. I got a lot of use out of that used vehicle. The tools I needed for my business was next on my list. I didn't go out and buy everything new. Some things I purchased secondhand. I needed pruners, loppers, edging tools, shovels, and rakes, and other things like gloves, business attire, and boots. These things were necessary in starting off. Like I mentioned before, you can find a lot of secondhand tools, and you can purchase attire like blue jeans and khaki pants at thrift stores. My artist son Jordan made my logo, and I had the logo put on business shirts, invoices, other things I used in my business. I did get a business license through the town I live in, and this was something that is updated yearly. I also purchased general liability insurance from my current insurance broker. I have been using a free software package that I found online called Book, where I do all of my estimates, invoices, and so much more for my clients. It's pretty user-friendly, and I love how it keeps me organized for tax purposes. I also use Excel to keep a spreadsheet of the work I do each year for my clients. It's also where I keep track of my profits. So this is some of the ways that have kept me organized and how I started my business. There are always going to be changes in how you do something, but primarily, I have kept the foundational building blocks as I have explained. I hope this has been helpful in your quest of starting your own business or whatever you feel led to do. Thanks for listening to Journey of Faith, Business Owner. I look forward to spending time with you in the next episode.